Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again here to Virtual Racing Network. Tonight we're here at Atlanta Motor Speedway, also known as Hotlanta, as it is not too terribly bad out there tonight. I will say that it's still probably going to live up to its name as being a very slick and greasy track, but the temperature not too bad here, as this is a race is being run on realistic weather, so the temperature here is the same that it would be in Atlanta at the track at that time today. So we'll see that track temp may go down a little bit throughout the night, or it may go up. We don't know. We'll keep an eye on that, but I would imagine it's probably going to go up maybe 2-3 degrees, up to 5 degrees, depending on how much they go. But before we get into all the racing details, we want to go over tonight's sponsors. Of course, the general sponsors here for the race, starting with Dan Butler Designs, Leo's Coney Island out of Rochester Hills, iRacing Drivers World, and of course your presenting sponsor here for tonight's race, that is Global Building Contractors. And before we move on to the sponsors here for the broadcast, we want to mention Global Building Contractors one more time, because we want to remind everyone, and we'll bring this up a couple of times here tonight, to make sure you watch this race, but make sure you stay tuned on Saturday, October 27th at 1 p.m. on Fox Sports 1, as the Global Building Contractors and Racecore Online Racing League logos will be on Parker Kligerman's truck. So make sure you check that out. That is a Martinsville race, so you're going to want to catch it, because I'm sure there will be some beating and banging going on there, some really good racing. Again, that is Saturday, October 27th. The actual Global Building Contractors truck and Racecore will be on that car, so make sure you check it out. If you happen to be at Martinsville that week, you can go down and see that truck in person, and you make sure you give them a big shout out, because you'll definitely see that Racecore Online Racing League logo on, again, Parker Kligerman's race car that particular night. So big shout out to them for doing that. On the broadcast side of things, we have a few partners on board here, as always, that have been on here for 2018, and we expect to have some great partnerships in the future. That is Walls Beard Co. Beard Balm. If you have a beard, you need to check them out at wallsbeardco.com. simspeedshop.com for all your custom-made button boxes and e-brakes. Northwest Racing Series, your official one-to-go sponsor here for tonight's race, and we also broadcast them on Monday and Wednesday nights. Ohio IndyCar League, check them out at Ohio IndyCar League on Facebook, facebook.com/Ohio IndyCar League. And of course, last but not least, that is iBog, iRacing Broadcast Overlay Graphics. We personally use them here at VRN, and we are actually going to be using them here now. We're actually using them now as it is to do some new stuff coming to VRN. We got some new overlays in the works. We'll be debuting those as soon as we can. But for now, we have our trusted overlays here that we are using. That being said, here we got about a minute 45 to go. Before we get to the national anthem, quickly note we have a 90-lap race, 135 miles. And we're going to get to the laps and fuel here in just a minute, but we'll be right back after your national anthem.
We take you down onto the track for our opening ceremonies.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise. Please remove your hats.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave.
All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like one of the first drivers out is going to be Mikey Neal and his brand new paint job here for tonight. So we're going to go ahead and put up your driver bar. It looks like he's got a, I thought he had a Hurricanes paint job on there. Looks like it is indeed for the Hurricanes paint job on there with some other sponsors on there as well. But we'll see what kind of times he's going to put in. The only EOL here for tonight is going to be, I don't even think they're here. I don't see them, so it doesn't matter who they are because they're not going to be here. So we won't have to worry about that at all. No EOLs here for tonight. But out on the track right now is Mikey Neal, Jameer Muhammad, James Morgan, Bryson Barker out, Tony Rice out on the track, Josh Coley, who we know from another league. So we'll go over him here in a minute, but he runs in the Northwest Xfinity and Truck Series. So glad to see leagues interchanging drivers here, having a good time together. But Mikey Neal coming up right there. He will start his first time lap, so he'll put in his first time lap, 30.106. And it looks like James Zarello is going to put in a 30.249. Alex Huffman in third with a 30.291 as Clarence Bonner going to put in a fourth place time with a 30.335. We'll go ahead and put your top 20 times up on the clock. Hopefully it does not act up. It has been trying to act up lately. Brian Bizzle in fifth place right now with a 30.355. So just a little bit behind, and it is still trying to cycle through. Not showing just our top 20 times and still acting up, so we can't use that here tonight. We do apologize for that, as it does not want to cooperate with us once again here tonight. Mikey Neal still up at the top, though. To go through your top 10, Josh Coley, we said we'd talk about him here a little bit. He is currently in 7th place in that number 33 machine. Jim Locking right behind him in 8th place. That's all going to shake up just a little bit here. There goes Bryson Barker up to 3rd place with a very fast 30.274. Alex Huffman just put in a 30.291 to put himself in 4th. Jameer Muhammad sitting in 5th place right now with a 30.333. Brian Jones just outside the top 10. Currently in 11th place with a 30.430. We'll see if he can top that time here shortly. Drivers out on the track, well, say that as he just put in a time. Scotty Zerk currently a 30.516, put himself in 14th. Brandon Sorsett right ahead of him, a 30.496 in 13th. Sal Casey fixing to be putting in a lap. Reese Milton also out on the track. Those two drivers are on the track. But yet have not put in a time just yet. Mike Taylor, Matthew Ellis, John Van Verellis, Justin Starr, Brandon Young have not put in times either. Reese Milton beating Mikey Neal here in qualifying with a 30.154. That is a difference of .006 to put him at the top of the charts. He was one of the fastest in practice, but it's not going to stick. Sal Casey in the 40, taking it to the top with a 30.144, ahead of him by .010. So what a time for that 40 of Sal Casey to edge out Reese Milton and Mikey Neal. Mikey Neal held that for so long, but in the end, it will be Sal Casey that looks like he is going to be our pole sitter here for this Global Building Contractors little 12-week mini-series here before they get ready for their next full season of 32 weeks of racing, but that will be a little ways off. We're not close to there. Right now, Mike Taylor has not qualified. Matthew Ellis, John Van Verellis, Brandon Young have not qualified. And we did hear Justin Starr in the 99 say that he was going to not qualify here. So that is going to be his strategy, to hang back and let these guys sort it out up front before he gets into the mix of things. So we will be watching for that. But before we get things going here with 14 seconds left to go, we do want to thank everyone for tuning in here. We try to only do this once a race here at the beginning. Again, other than thank, we'll thank that throughout the race, but thanks for showing up. We do have several ways if you want to be a little bit more part of VRN here, and you know, just help out if you want. It's optional. There are several ways you can donate with the super chat, becoming a member of the channel, or you can of course donate via the link. That is a more direct route directly to us. We get to use that to do stuff here we need to do sooner. But again, those are all optional things here for you. If you want to be a little bit more part of it, you don't have to be. We're just glad to have you here, but we're going to go ahead and get through your Walls Beard Co. starting grid, as it is a lot of drivers here, 26 drivers in total. Row 1 is going to be the 40 of Sal Casey and Reese Milton in that number 76 machine. Row 2 is going to be the 8 of Mikey Neal and the 13 of James Zarello. Row 3 is going to be the 84 of Bryson Barker and the 83 of Alex Huffman. Row 4 is going to be the 2 of Jameer Muhammad and the 24 of Clarence Bonner. Row 5 is going to be the 28 of Brian Bizzle and the 33 of Josh Coley. Row 6 is going to be the 91 of Jim Locking and the 12 of James Morgan. Row 7 is going to be the 45 of Brian Jones and the 9 of Brian Dorsey. Once again, we have the Battle of the Bryans on row 7. Row 8 is going to be the 5 of Brandon Dorsett and the 31 of Scotty Zirk. Row 9 is going to be David Gainforth and the 21 of Dan Butler. Row 10 is going to be the 75 of Bill Edwards and the 64 of Tony Rice. Row 11 is going to be the 14 of Tyler Rowland and the 78 of John Van Verellis. Row 12 is going to be the 56 of Mike Taylor and the 6 of Matthew Ellis. Row 13 is going to be the 51 of Brandon Young and the 99 of Justin Starr. Rounding out the field here tonight, that was your Walls Beard Co. starting grid, as we have 26 drivers starting tonight's race, and every single one of them are starting the race here, as we'll give you a little bit wider field here. That's how many cars. This field is packed as they're going into turn 3 and 4. So I expect to see nothing less than some great racing from these guys. We always see really good racing from these guys. So thanks for tuning in. Hopefully you enjoy the race too. I see Mike's here with us, and we got Jason Covington with us, so James Zarello. Thanks for tuning in. Hopefully y'all are on the track and not necessarily chatting too much, but the green flag is in the air. We are racing here tonight. You see these cars come barreling out of turn 1 and into 2. It is Sal Casey that is out front. Let's get a little closer to him, and we'll let you know what is happening throughout the field. So far, so good. Not seeing anything as far as anybody getting out of shape or anything like that. Again, we didn't get a chance to go through our pre-race analysts here, so we're going to pull it up real fast as you're watching your leaders. Right now, that track temp, 94 degrees. It has fallen a degree since we started. 90 laps, 135 miles. Pit window, 30 to 36 laps. With 90 laps, I think they'll divide it into 30-lap segments, 30, 60, and then they should be good to go to the end. We may see them stretch it to 31 and then 60. We'll see, as it will push it kind of close. We may see 31 and 61 instead. Tire window, we estimate 10 to 15. We really don't know. That's probably actually well off of what it should be. I imagine that's probably going to be closer to 5 or 10 laps. If not less. This track will eat up your tires a ton here in Atlanta. They don't call it Hot Atlanta for nothing. It will wear your tires down very quickly, so you're going to have to be very careful on those tires, especially coming out of the corners. Turn 1 is very difficult. If you manage to get in there a little hot, you could very easily spin it out. So that's something we're going to have to look for here. Sal Casey currently has a sizable lead as he will come to the line. We'll see just how big that lead is. We can't see it because he has a white background on there. But currently, again, a decent lead. But second place to third place, that is Reese Milton and Mikey Neal, followed by James Zarello. That one, not so much of a gap. As here goes Bryson Barker in the 84. He's going to get by the 13 of James Zarello. And Jameer Muhammad trying to get in there as well, but couldn't quite complete the pass. We will see how this one all plays out. Who will be the winner here tonight? That's going to be a very good question. This league, or this series in itself, has proven to be different when it comes to winners. We've seen several different ones. So we're going to go a little ways back here. We still have some good battling going on from these guys as well. Especially right ahead of them. As we're going to check in with Justin Starr back here. He opted to stay at the back. He's trying to work his way in. He did get by John Van Varelis, and he is working his way up. But let's go to these guys right here. And let's go here. Let's go on board. We get the right one there. There we go. On board with David Gainforth here, as he is going to get passed on the outside by the 75 of Bill Edwards. That is one thing about this track. You can pass on the outside, but it will wear your tires down a little bit here. Let's jump up to Josh Coley, who's on the inside trying to make a pass here on the 28 of Brian Bizzle. He's also got the 12 of James Morgan in front of him. So we'll run one lap around this track on board here with Josh Coley just to see what it is like to get around this track. You see, nobody's really getting too close to that white line. You don't want to get too low, as that could cost you to spin out here. We'll see just how low he does get in this corner. You see, he is well, they're getting pretty low, but the rest of these guys not getting super low into the corners. So we'll see it coming into the trioval right there, pretty low, slides up, and you'll see him come back down and back up again for turn one. So that is how you get through this trioval here. It's a little tricky as he's trying to get by the 12 of James Morgan right now. We'll see if he can do so. As we'll go to a main camera here to see. Oh, I thought there was contact there. And we have a blinker somewhere in here. Sparks are flying, so these splitters are dragging here tonight. So we'll have to keep an eye on that. Brian Jones behind this group. Jim Locking as well, trying to make something happen. And we'll see, can we get those three teammates up there? We have, Clarence Bonner in the 24. He is one of three teammates there that are trying to get up there and get the win. That'd be awesome for them if they could get a 1, 2, 3 here for their team tonight. So we'll keep an eye on them. But they're 3 wide going into the corner. I don't know how they made that one work. They did, though, somehow. Here comes the 28 through the middle as he is still trying to hold off there as the 12 of James Morgan takes it a little into the grass, but he will recover from it. And they are still back here just side by side, the 24 and the 28, with the 12 pushing the 28 right now, trying to get past him to see if he can make something happen. So we'll definitely, it's something we've got to watch. These guys battle so hard, and they're just so competitive week in and week out that you never really know who's going to win the race. We're 11 laps in, 10 for some of these guys there as they just crossed the line. So while we're watching this battle, we're going to go up here a little bit to another battle starting to brew here. Jameer Muhammad, Bryson Barker, and James Zarello, as Mikey Neal does have second place right now, but he still has a 0.8 second gap to the leader, Sal Casey. So while we do have some people falling back, Reese Milton has fallen all the way to 7th place from second. He lost a few spots, but don't count him out yet. He very well could be just trying to save a little bit of fuel here and push this for as many laps as they can. So it's something you got to watch for. Just because you fall back doesn't necessarily mean you're slow. It could mean you're saving, as a caution is going to come out. And we'll go back here. It's going to be the 31 of Scotty Zerk involved, and it looks like the 51 of Brandon Young. Let's go back and take a look. Let's go. And it looks like he got a bumper there from the 56. And several cars involved. I'm not sure how, indeed, the 31. Oh, he's there, right there. Gets hit again by the 56. Let's go back and take another look at that, as we may have to go back even further here. Let's go up to the blimp camera here and see if we can get a shot of this. You'll see the 56 is back here behind the 21. Again, just almost off your screen, the 56, the blue car closest to you here on the screen. And we'll see exactly what happened. They get a run on the 31 of Scotty Zerk. The 21 has to avoid him there. The 56 up on the high side with him. Again, this is quite a ways back. This is prior to the actual wreck happening. We're going to see, I'm not sure, going in the tri-oval here. Looks like the 56 gets a run. And we'll see if that is indeed what happened. Did he get a run that he just didn't get checked up in time for? Coming into turn 1. And we're going to see here, little contact between the 6 and the 56. And also the 21 and the 31, they are getting side by side. And right there is, it was very, very slight, if anything at all. And we're going to go here, and there goes the 99 getting spun around. And we'll see, there's the 31. He comes back onto the track. The 14 narrowly avoids him. And there, so the 56 trying to go down low to avoid the 31. And just unfortunately, he didn't get low enough. And the 31 didn't go up the track as fast as he thought he was going to. That will bring out the caution here, as everybody has made pit stops here. And everyone looks to be good. Everyone just about came in where they went in. As far as pit stops go, but Sal Casey still your leader as we're under caution here for the first time. Scotty Zerk is now out of the race. Mike Taylor on pit road in the 56, and it looks like we also have Reese Milton on pit road and Brandon Young on pit road as well. Oh, we will definitely see here, but we're going to wait to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Apparently there for a second. We do apologize. We had a little internet there. I don't know what's going on. I believe it's something to do with YouTube lately with their issues they've been having, but it should be sorting itself out. We do apologize, as it does this about once a race and then it all sorts out, so we do apologize for that. But the pace car is diving off. We are getting ready. There it is, green flag back in the air. Sal Casey leading this race. As we'll see, it's Mikey Neal in a second place right now. Mikey Neal going to try to make a push here on the outside. Will he be able to get by Sal Casey? Not going to happen directly on the restart. Will he be able to make it happen here? He's going to dive to the inside. Mikey Neal coming to the inside of the 40 of Sal Casey. Will he get the lead? Not going to happen at the moment. He is definitely going to dive down there, though. We'll see. We're going to put your leader up there to see if those two trade the spot here. Will Mikey Neal lead at the line? Not going to happen. Sal Casey still has him at the moment. Mikey Neal has a huge run, though, but so does the 2 of Jameer Muhammad. He is right on his back bumper right now. Bryson Barker behind him. Alex Huffman. We'll check in with our second place car, Reese Milton. He is back in 23rd spot right now. As he is way back right now. We're having some connection issues too. We'll pull that information up for you if we can keep a lock on him here. He started second. He's in 23rd. 21 spots back from where he started after pit stops here, as he's battling with the 99 of Justin Starr, who has heavy damage to his car. Justin Starr, you can see right there, heavy damage to the front and the back after being involved in that incident. Wasn't even involved in the actual main caution, but still managed to get involved in it somehow. As now Jameer Muhammad's going to get by Mikey Neal, where we were looking at second place there for a minute, or what was second place. So Jameer Muhammad gets by Mikey Neal. Does Jameer Muhammad have something for Sal Casey here tonight? We'll see. He'll reel me in 0.466 seconds separating first and second right now. Will they make something happen here? We're going to go back a little bit. You got the 83 and the 28, Brian Bizzle on the 28, the 83 of Alex Huffman battling. You can't leave out the 12 of James Morgan, who's right there as well. Let's zoom out here a little bit to get a better picture of these guys and look how close they are together. I have to say, as far as the racing goes here, this is probably some of the closest racing we have seen all season long. And it's a new season, but even if you get back into the other Xfinity series, I think this is probably some of the closest racing we've had, period, between these guys. Usually we have some really fast cars take off and leave the field behind. That is not happening here tonight, as we're seeing some really good battling going on between right now Brian Bizzle, the 24 of Clarence Bonner, Alex Huffman, Brian Bizzle, all these guys up here in the front, Bryson Barker, Josh Coley, the new guy that we know from another league, getting in the mix here as well. Jim Locking is in the mix here. So even if you go further back in here to these guys, you got some battle going on here. You got Tony Rice, Tyler Rowland in the mix, Matthew Ellis back there in the 6. So even back towards the back of the field here, you have good battling going on. Just all over the place. Again, Reese Milton back here as well. Looks like Mike Taylor still on pit road. His nights of possibly getting the win are fading very quickly. Scotty Zerk out of this race. And we're catching in up to the front here, as Jamir Muhammad may have taken second place, but he has not gained on the leader. He is now from 0.5 there. Now it's 0.3. So this time around he does gain, but now it's back to 0.6. So he is not gaining on the leader right now very much. We'll see. He does go a little bit, about 0.583. So he has gained a little bit of time, but not a whole lot here on the race leader. But we're going to go back here to this group. You can see them coming into your screen. They're still side by side. This starts with Clarence Bonner, Bill Edwards, Josh Coley, Jim Locking, Brandon Dorsett, Brian Jones, Brian Dorsey. All these guys right in here. This is really where the racing's going on. Those front 7 have really kind of single filed out. Josh Coley clipping the grass there just a little bit, but he will keep it going in the right direction. So definitely some great racing here tonight between these guys. Yes, yeah, we were hearing that, Mike Neal, that this is indeed Mikey Neal's first time with an Xfinity car here at Atlanta, and boy, is it a hot track. It's definitely a fast car on a hot track. That is usually not a good combination, but it's producing some really good racing here for these guys, especially right here. We're keeping an eye on that lead, though, as well. Don't think we forgot about it here, as there we have Sal Casey up there. And let's check in here. Where did we go with our second place car? Well, if we can find him. Jamir Muhammad, there he goes. Just took the lead. That's why we couldn't find him. Wow, we are losing it here. He is about to lead his first laps. He just gets by the leader. So while we were watching that battle behind him, just took the lead. We apologize for missing that. But he just took the lead, about to lead his first lap here on lap 26. Can he do it? And it looks like he will get by. We thought he had something for Sal Casey, and he will indeed lead it. He is the new leader, and he has officially led a lap here tonight. And here comes the 84 Bryson Barker to the inside as well. So we'll see. He may lose another spot and possibly 2 more if Mikey Neal can get by him as well. I really think that the 40 of Sal Casey possibly is going to conserve here. That could be why. Again, we're on lap 27 right now. We have 13 laps on this stint. We expected them to go 30 lap segments here. This is a 90 lap race. They would pit on lap 30. They would pit on lap 60, and then they would make it to the end of the race, because they can technically go 36 laps. That has been shot out the window, though, because of that caution. Again, we're coming up on lap 30, so they won't be coming in on lap 30. It looks like they would be coming in around lap 45 now, because we would have 15 laps here. When they come to the line, actually maybe around 42. when they come in. So we'll keep an eye on that to see when pit stops do start to happen. But again, a lot of strategy going on here as the 84 of Bryson Barker fixing to try to get by the 40 of Sal Casey, and they're side by side coming out of the turn onto the backstretch. It looks like he will get by, and we got contact going on in the back here. Big wreck happening. And it's the 75 that's going around. That is Bill Edwards that is spinning, and it looks like it's going to involve one or two people. Oh, and the 78 hits. I'm not sure who that was. We'll go back and take a look and see exactly what happened. Well, let's see here what happened to the 75. I do believe that is Bill Edwards, and I do believe he got into the wall right there. Oh no, he had contact with somebody else. Well, let's go back again one more time and take a look at that and see exactly what happened here from the blimp camera. Again, I'm not sure, this may have been the 24 that something happened to, but collects the 75. We'll see. Oh, maybe a little bit of contact there between the two. Let's go back here to the 75 one more time as we want to take another look at that here. Let's go to the nose cam here. We'll see. Actually, yeah, let's go to the nose cam here on board with the wrong car there. Let's go. There it is. The 75 of Bill Edwards, as this is coming up here in a minute. We are again on that nose cam to see exactly what happened. There's the 24 coming into the picture now, and right there, a little bit of contact, and around goes the 75 after the 24 scrapes the wall. So that is indeed what brought out the caution here. So let's take one more quick look at that here as everyone's on pit road right now to the roll bar camera and see if we do see contact right there. It was a very slight rub, but it was enough to hit the 24 into the wall, and around goes the 75. So that will do it here as we go back to live on our main camera. Again, everyone is just now coming off pit road here. For the most part, everyone had a successful pit stop here, except for maybe James Zarello, who had a 33.8 second stop. And then you have Matthew Ellis, 26, Justin Starr, 29, but he did have some damage to repair. But coming out of pit road, Jameer Muhammad, still your leader, followed by Sal Casey, Bryson Barker, Alex Huffman, and Mikey Neal are going to be your top five after a caution number 2 here for tonight. And it looks like the lights are still on, and they are going to stay on. So we are going to step away to a quick commercial break, and we will be right back. Alright, the lights are off on the pace car. That means we are going racing this next time by, as they are on the backstretch. Again, we want to thank everybody for tuning in here. If you're new here tonight and you haven't so far, make sure you hit that subscribe button, the little bell to be notified, and of course hit the like button if you like the racing here tonight. It's been some great racing, some really close racing here, probably one of the closest racing we've seen all season long. As always, thanks for tuning in. Whether you're new or not new, we're glad to have you all here. We got a lot of stuff coming in VRN. Make sure you're checking in, hopefully here within the next month or two, as we may have some new overlays there and some spinning of the tires from the 40 of Sal Casey as the green flag comes back out. That is going to cost him a few spots, as it looks like Mikey Neal's going to get by him, as well as Alex Huffman to get by him. And there goes Josh Coley. He's going to get by him as well. The 40 of Sal Casey, I'm pretty sure, spun the tires there on the restart. That lost him 3 spots, as he will go from 3rd to 6th. Mikey Neal, Alex Huffman, and Josh Coley going to be getting by him. Right behind them, they are now too wide, but we're going to go back up to the front here, as that is a difference of .099 separating Bryson Barker and Jameer Muhammad. One of these guys very well could be our race winner here tonight, but I would not count out Mikey Neal, Alex Huffman, Josh Coley, Sal Casey, Brian Bizzle. These guys have been up there all night in your really your top 10. Have a shot at possibly winning this thing. As far as fuel goes here, that pretty much is out the window at this point. We'll pull up your caution chart here. We know they can make it 36 laps on fuel. We have 56 laps to go. So this is now a one-stop race because they've had those 2 cautions. So if the caution does not come out, we will pit one more time. If it does come out, we're right now 5 laps on this stint. If we get to at least 10 laps, you can expect these drivers to come down pit road if they want those tires. This track eats your tires up, so believe me, if there's at least 5 to 10 green flag laps on these tires, they will come down and get fresh tires. But we're watching this back here. Sal Casey losing another spot here to Brian Bizzle, as Brian Bizzle is going to take his number 28 machine, and Sal Casey's not having any part of that. He's going to get back by him on the outside. While we're keeping an eye on that lead, we also want to watch these battles back here to see how they're going, as looks like Jim Locking came back down pit road. He is now 2 laps down. The first car on the track that is at least a lap down. He is 2 laps down. Good news for Mike Taylor is who come back out on the track, who just driving next to his teammates, the 24 of Clarence Bonner, who is on the lead lap. It's Mike Taylor, currently 13 laps down. Did get most of that damage repaired, but still has quite a bit on there, being pushed by his teammate here, the 24, who is also off the pace at the moment. So we'll see Brian Jones right there, and it looks like Mike Taylor is going, no, that is the 24 that is going to bring it down pit road, who also has damage. So the 24 of Clarence Bonner going to bring it down pit road here. And take another stab at getting some damage repaired. But Jameer Muhammad, as we go back to the front, has pulled a little bit of a gap, .216 over Bryson Barker in that 84 machine. So we'll be watching and keeping an eye on that. Mikey Neal currently 3rd. Again, Sal Casey lost several spots, still back in 6th place though, as this is another little battle going on right here. Ever since that caution came out though, it's interesting. Everyone was really close together, and since that caution, they have really started to spread out. You can see there's still a lot of battling going on in groups, but they're not 2 and 3 wide like they were before. They've really scattered out. So interesting here that caution kind of shaking things up. Maybe it's making them a little bit more cautious. They don't want to hang in there and get as close as they were. They feel maybe that was bringing the caution, but very interesting that they have spread out as much as they have. So we'll go back here a little ways and take a look. There's some still more battling going on. David Gainforth, Reese Milton, who again, Reese Milton was your 2nd place starter here in tonight's race. He has worked his way back up to 12th position after that caution. So hopefully we can see him back to where he was in second position starting this race. But be interesting to see if he can. That gap is now 0.416 between first and second. But we're going to go back here and take a look to see Mikey Neal is closing that gap between him and second place. So we'll see, can he get up there and make something happen right now. 0.233 seconds separate second and third place, Bryson Barker and Mikey Neal. Mikey Neal's trying to run him down, 0.2 seconds now. So he is getting ever closer. I think we may have a battle between the 8 and the 84 here shortly, and then we may see even later than that a battle between Mikey Neal and Jameer Muhammad. No surprise there if we do. Those two are constantly battling side by side, so it would be nothing new to see those two hanging it out here together side by side. We are also coming up on the halfway point as we're on lap 44 now of 90. So when we complete lap 45, we will officially be at the halfway point here for tonight's race. So we'll see who will be leading at that point, as we'll probably go non-stop here and get one of our last commercial breaks out of the way right at the halfway point. Bryson Barker still trying to run him down. We're going to zoom out here a little bit. You can see that is second and third right there. First place, Jameer Muhammad has pulled out to a 0.404 second lead, as now that gap between second and third is back to a 0.266. Now it's back to a 0.200. So Mikey Neal is still trying to run down Bryson Barker. John Van Varelis is currently out of the race, just packed it up here. And it looks like Mike Taylor coming back down. Oh no, wrecking on pit road. I thought he was going awfully slow, but wrecking it on pit road. So not good for Mike Taylor in the 56. Coming to the line right there will be the halfway point here for Jameer Muhammad, as he is your race leader at the moment. We are going to step away here at the halfway point for our last commercials. We go non-stop. We'll be right back. Alright, we are back, which hopefully will be our last commercial break of the night. And it is Jameer Muhammad still out front, but Mikey Neal still trying to run down Bryson Barker. Josh Coley, his debut here tonight. We know he's fast. We've seen him race before over in the Northwest Xfinity and Truck Series, so we're where we broadcast that one as well, so no surprise there for him. Looking right behind him, though, Sal Casey has worked his way back to 5th after he did fall to 6th on the restart, spinning the tires. But a really good battle going on here between Sal Casey, Alex Huffman, and Jameer Muhammad. Really a battle between Alex Huffman and James Morgan right there in 6th place and 7th place. So we'll keep an eye on that one. Let's go back a little bit further here in the field, as right here you see some battling going on. This all starts with, I believe, the 28. It does. So you have Brian Bizzle, Brian Dorsey, Reese Milton, and James Larillo battling all for 9th position, as they're getting really close to each other right now. And we'll see. Oh, I thought they were going to get into his back bumper there, the 9 and the 76, but they sorted out the 13 of James Larillo, who is teammate, the 75, having issues earlier there earlier, but he is still on the lead lap, and it looks like the 14 of Tyler Rowland is going to pack it up here as well. I didn't see him get into anything, but his two teammates are also out of the race. Clarence Bonner out of the race now. And, of course, Mike Taylor out of the race a little earlier. John Van Varellis out of the race, and Scotty Zerk out of the race as well. So we currently have 21 cars on the track right now. Jim Walking, the only one currently back in 21st, 3 laps down. Everyone else is on the lead lap and battling for positions. So we are going to keep an eye on all of these cars here tonight and do our best. As there goes Brian Dorsey in the 9. He's going to try to get by the 28 and take 9th position if he can on the inside. We'll see if he's going to make it happen. Not much going on at the front of this race right now. As right now, Jameer Muhammad has a .9 lead, .944. Now it's back down to a .766. So we'll see, and even between second and third, there's a sizable gap as well. So not much going on right there, but you can see at the front it is Jameer Muhammad, Bryson Barker, and Mikey Neal are your front 3 runners right now in this race. Everyone else is back a little ways, is having some connection issues there for the 76 of Reese Milton. And the 9 does finally abide Brian Dorsey by the 28 of Brian Bizzle. Now the 13 of James Zarello is going to try to get by him as well. So we'll see if he can get by him. Again, his teammate Bill Edwards in the 75 with heavy damage involved in an early wreck back in 20th spot, but still is on the lead lap, so don't count him out just yet. I don't think his chances of getting the win are very high with that much damage, as he won't be as fast, but he's still got a shot here. Possibly could get a top 10. You never know what could happen towards the end of this race. We're on lap 54 of 90 at the moment from Jameer Muhammad. Now 55 is, we'll pull up your chart here. 36 laps to go. This race is winding down very quickly here, as we have only been live less than an hour. And of course, 15 minutes of that was qualifying and practice. So we have not been live long at all here, as we're coming up on 35 laps to go. We're on lap 24 of this stint. The question is, when will they come down and pit? I think they're going to break it up right kind of down the middle here. So in about 5 laps or 4 laps or so, 4 or 5 laps, I think these guys are going to come down pit road and get fuel and tires. But then again, that is just our estimate. We don't have a calculation as to when they're going to come down, so we have to be paying attention to it. But we know part of the strategy here, when it was a 90-lap race, or it is, was to break it up into lap 30, lap 60, and then you'd be good till the lap 90, because you can technically make it 36 laps on fuel. So that being said, that is how many we have right now. So we'll bring that up, or we did. We have 34 laps to go. So if you were to pit right now, you could make it to the end of this race on fuel. However, you would probably come down for tires if a caution was to come out. But at this point, they could make it on fuel to the end of the race. So we'll be keeping an eye on that. And if we get a caution, we may try to talk to one of these drivers and see what their thoughts are as far as if they would come down with, say 10 laps to go to get those tires, or if it would be if the leader came down or didn't come down, as that can definitely play a factor in the decision as to if and when you would come down pit road. Yes, for the last race on Sunday, there were some stiff penalties given out. There are a few drivers that are no longer here with us. So some of those may have been racing in here, I'm not sure. But there were some tough penalties that had to be issued from the Sunday race, unfortunately. But that's just part of racing. That is one thing here with the Racecore Online Racing League. They are very strict on their rules, which is good. They enforce them, and they enforce them on everybody. They are not picky to one particular person here, but pit stops are happening Jameer Muhammad coming down pit road along with Sal Casey. We'll follow along with pit stops here as it looks like Dan Butler coming down as well. And Jameer Muhammad needs to make a really good stop right here. This is a crucial stop. Perfect stop for him. He will come in, get tires and fuel. We'll see if he takes 4 tires or if it will be 2. And it looks like it's going to be a 4-tire stop. Sal Casey coming into his stop. He will have a good stop there. And here comes Bryson Barker and Mikey Neal coming down pit road as well. Those two are side by side. Mikey Neal and Bryson Barker, the 8 and the 84, will follow their stops as long as they can get in here with a solid stop and not miss their stop at all. And we'll see. Good job for both of them. They are going to get into their stop just fine, as it looks like Alex Huffman gets in as well. And it's all cycling through right now. Those are the top ones. Reese Milton back to the front, but that's not going to last long, as there goes Jameer Muhammad by, and Reese Milton still having some connection issues. So as of right now was Brandon Dorsett coming down pit road, David Gainforth in the 101 coming down pit road. Bill Edwards in the 75 has not come down, but he only has 28 on there, so he can stay out a bit longer. Reese Milton has not come down pit road. He has 31, so he still has plenty of more laps that he could go, as well as Brian Bizzle out there on the track. So this is going to get very interesting. This is where we have to pay attention, because these guys very well could stay out and hope for a caution and not come in just yet and trap these guys a lap down, although it would give a lot of guys the wave around. If they came down and pit, then it wouldn't matter, but they've already pitted. So, again, this could get very interesting if they were able to trap these guys a lap down. That would only put currently 6 drivers on the lead lap. Bryson Barker is the last car on the lead lap. And it looks like Reese Milton is going to come down pit road here. So he is not going to stay out much longer here. He did 33 laps and decided that was enough. Brian Bizzle, on the other hand, is not. He is still out on the racetrack here. 33 laps on this stint. Again, we know they can make it 36 laps. So no surprise that he hasn't come in. Bill Edwards, 31 laps. He has not come in yet. He will take second place. Here comes the 83, and he will unlap himself. So these guys are starting to get their laps back here. And most notably, you want to talk about this. You see the 83 of Alex Huffman going by your leader, and here goes the 9 as well, Brian Dorsey. Alex Huffman ran a 31.019, and that was passing someone. Brian Bizzle running 33.2, so he is extremely slow compared to the rest of these guys here with 65 laps in the book. So he will be coming down pit road this time. We'll see. Bill Edwards yet to come down. He is on the backstretch right now. But meanwhile, Jameer Muhammad actually passed, got his lap back, and is now on the hunt. So when Brian Bizzle cycles through, as he is going to get into his pit stall right there, and that will probably relinquish the lead right there. Jameer Muhammad does take the lead back. But right now, Bill Edwards still in second place, but I don't think that's going to last for much longer here, as there is Mikey Neal, and there is the 75 Bill Edwards, and it's going to be Mikey Neal taking second place. And I have a feeling Bryson Barker, he does indeed. Bryson Barker takes third place away. So Bill Edwards will be coming in here very soon, as those older tires are definitely slowing him down. You're talking of 30-second laps to 33-second laps, so definitely a lot slower. He will have to come in soon. Plus, he can't make it more than 2 more laps on fuel anyway, so he will definitely be coming in soon. But we're going to take a look here and see if we can find any major battles going on after pit stops here. The field is really spread out. Brad Jones and Justin Starr, while they're not on the lead lap, they're both 1 lap down at the moment. So those two could be battling for position if they get close enough. Again, that's the 45 of Brian Jones and the 99 of Justin Starr. We're coming up on 20 laps to go already here very quickly in tonight's race, as we will not be here much longer, at least not under racing conditions. James Arillo still having some connection issues, and there goes Bill Edwards. He's on pit road, so that will conclude our third pit stop here, our second green flag pit stops, and now everyone has 9 laps on their tires, so that's 7 to 9 laps, and they can make it on fuel here to the remainder of this race. Mikey Neal's trying to run down that car right there. That is the 2 of Jamir Muhammad, who is your current race leader. Mikey Neal currently 2.3 seconds behind, now 2.2 seconds behind. So Mikey Neal is running down your race leader. Will he be able to catch him in time here? As coming up there, the 91 of Jim Locking is going to be put a lap down, or a 4th lap down here very shortly. Right there anyway, he will go now 4 laps down. Next time by here for the 2 of Jamir Muhammad, it will be indeed 20 laps to go. Definitely... again, you're running 30-second laps, so that's roughly 2 laps a minute. So you're looking at roughly 10 minutes worth of racing left. So 10 minutes worth of racing, 20 laps, 40 corners, whatever you want to go by. That is what is left here in this race for the 2 of Jamir Muhammad to hold off the hard charging field, and that's how long Mikey Neal has to get by. But look what he's got in front of him right now. He's got a bunch of lap cars, the 41, the 91, the 99, all in front of him right now, and that is causing him a headache right now as he wants to get by these guys. However, you know, there is no technically rule that says you have to get out. There is a gentleman's rule, but there is no actual rule that says you must get out of the way of leaders. It's more of a courtesy thing. And it looks like for the most part they are going to now, as Justin Starr is going to take it up high and let the 8 of Mikey Neal by. That will put right now the 99 of Justin Starr still only 1 lap down. I would love to get that lap back if he could get a caution and get the wave around, but right now not happening. As we'll check in with our 3rd place, Bryson Barker. He's trying to get through these guys now. As the 45 going to slide up high, he'll get by him, no problems. Now he's going to get by the 99 of Justin Starr if he can. And we'll see. It looks like he'll probably get by him fairly easy as well. So definitely an interesting race here. We haven't seen much passing here in the last few laps, but the early half of this race, they really were really close together. That is kind of faded here in the second half of this race, as everyone has got spread out after the pit stops here under green flag conditions. Yeah, Jason, in the league races, they can assign you a number. If they don't, you just get a random number. But yes, in league races, yeah, they do indeed, as Jason Covington said, they do assign you a number, so they always have the same number. It really is just like in NASCAR or any other form of racing. They give you a number, or you pick a number and they give it to you, and that is your number for the entire season or the entire career span of you being in that league. So that is how that works. So it's a really nice feature that we have here on iRacing, and definitely people utilize it a lot. They can actually even, you'll see some people in here, not so much in this league, but they can actually give you a different name too. So if you happen to be, say, you know, like whatever, Charles Wooten III, they can change it to Charles Wooten. So they can do a lot of stuff in there that they... you know, you can't do in official races. While that's going on here, let's take a look. 2.6 seconds separating first and second right now. Can Mikey Neal run down your leader, Jamir Muhammad? 14 laps to go. Bryson Barker still trying to run down him as well. Got a gap of 0.833, so I don't think your top three are going to change a whole lot here for the remainder of this race. I just don't see too much going on as far as those guys, and as far as cautions, I don't expect to see any here for the remainder of this race. I could be shocked though and surprised. So we will keep an eye on everyone, but right now, again, just not a whole lot going on the track itself. There are a few little battles going on here, as we'll go back to Brandon Dorsett and David Gainfort. That is a battle currently for 7th position. So we'll see, but the 13 has quite a bit of damage. And I stand corrected, that is not a battle. The 13 is actually 1 lap down at the moment. So that is not an actual battle going on at the present time. There are some like little battles going on, but you really can't call them position battles. They're just track battles, and there is a difference. You'll hear us refer to track battles or position battles. A position battle is, of course, something like the 84 and the 33 if they were battling for 3rd position. And then there is just track battles where you'll have people that are on the track but not on the same lap, and they're just battling for the real estate on the track itself. And again, most of the time you won't see that happening, as these guys won't battle someone on their if they're a lap or 2 down. They're not going to fight them too hard. There's no point in wearing your tires out, especially at a track like this where these tires can really start to wear off. You do not want to wear them any more than you absolutely have to. And speaking of wearing and falling backwards, that is the 40 of Sal Casey right now, as we'll bring that driver bar back up. Started first, led 24 laps all the way back in 14th right now. So something happening to Sal Casey. Spun the tires early on a restart, and ever since has just not been able to recover from that. So that is very unfortunate, as he had a really fast number 40 machine here tonight, just unable to recover after that tire spin. So we'll definitely be looking forward to talking to him in coming races, but it doesn't look like tonight is gonna be one of those. As we go back to the front, Jamir Muhammad still leading this race. 9 laps to go. It's going to be 8 to go right there at the line. 8 laps separate Jamir Muhammad from victory lane here tonight. Mikey Neal would be 2nd, and Bryson Barker would take 3rd place at the present time. Josh Coley in his debut here tonight. Again, I knew he would put on a show here. He does every week. In the other league we broadcast, but right now 4th place in his very first race. You cannot be disappointed in that by any means, as you know, I expected him to do good, and here he's going to try to get by the 21 here for just a battle for track position, but not necessarily a actual position as far as in the standings. So we'll see the 45 kind of trailing behind him here, Brian Jones, who is currently 1 lap down. We'll see there are right now 14 drivers on the lead lap. Sal Casey, the last one on the lead lap, has almost a little bit of contact there between the 45 and the 99, but they keep it going in the right direction. So Josh Coley getting by some lap cars here, but still unable to make anything happen here at the front of this race. Well, again, not sure. There we go, having a little issue there. Again, thanks everybody for tuning in here tonight. As we're kind of spread thin here as far as stuff to talk about. As far as battles, again, there's just not much going on. You got the 83 and the 21 sitting here pretty close together on the track. However, Alex Huffman is in 5th place. The 21 of Dan Butler is 2 laps down, back in 20th. So 15 spots separating those two. While on the track, it's just about 2 car lengths. So you can see just how the difference is. 15 positions and about 2 car lengths. So, again, it just goes to show how spread out these guys really are. That's just because you're next to somebody doesn't mean it's for position. As Jamir Muhammad goes by the line, we have 4 laps to go here in your race. And we have just been in an hour and 10 minutes, so not very long here in tonight's race. And again, just to update, it is Muhammad, Neal, and Barker. Those are your top 3 drivers here. And very interesting here for the 84 of Bryson Barker. I'm definitely looking forward to talking to him here tonight, as it has been quite some time since we've gotten to talk to the 84 Bryson Barker. So I definitely am looking forward to having a talk there with the 84 to see just what he's been doing here, as we have not seen him racing, or at least not got to talk to him anyway, in quite some time. Here he is in a podium position here to get a top 3 finish. So we're going to be talking to him as he goes through the grass there a little bit, and that will cut the corner, but he keeps it going for the most part. It is 2 laps to go. There is your leader. That is Jamir Muhammad here leading this race tonight. All right, it is coming up on 1 to go. Right there, 1 lap to go, presented by Northwest Racing Series. White flag is in the air. We have had very few cautions here tonight, and that is the way we like to see it. 2 cautions for 7 laps, 1 lap to go, 6 different lead changes with 6 different leaders. It's Muhammad, Casey, Bizzle, Milton, and Barker and Dorsett are your race leaders here for tonight. And coming to the line right there will be your race winner, the 2 of Jamir Muhammad, bringing it to victory lane here tonight at Atlanta Motor Speedway for the Global Building Contractors 12-week mini-series here on VRN. We'll watch him do some celebrating here momentarily. Before we get to your post-race show, though, we want to, of course, go over your unofficial race results here for tonight's race. Getting the win, of course, is going to be the 2 of Jamir Muhammad, followed by the 8 of Mikey Neal in second. Third place will be the 84 of Bryson Barker. Fourth place will be the 33 of Josh Coley. Fifth place will be the 83 of Alex Huffman. Sixth place will be Brian Dorsey. 7th place, Brandon Dorsett. 8th place, Reese Milton. 9th place, David Gainforth. And 10th place will go to Matthew Ellis. 11th place will go to Brian Bizzle. 12th place, James Morgan. 13th, Brandon Young. 14th, Tony Rice. 15th, Brian Jones. 16th, Justin Starr. 17th, James Zarello. 18th, Bill Edwards. 19th, Dan Butler. And 20th goes to Jim Locking. 21st will go to Sal Casey. 22nd, Tyler Rollin. 23rd, Clarence Bonner. 24th, Mike Taylor. 25th, John Van Varelis. And rounding out the field here in 26th, that of course is the 31 of Scotty Zerk. That will do it here for your unofficial race results tonight. So definitely stay tuned. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back here shortly with your top 3 interviews. All right, we are back, ladies and gentlemen, here for your post-race show. We have your top three drivers in the booth here with us to talk to them. And, of course, your third place driver here tonight, that is the 84 Bryson Barker. It started fifth. You finished in third. You led one lap here tonight, so you get that bonus point. So first off, as always, congrats on third. And it's been a while since we got to talk to you, so it's good to have you back in the booth. And you got to ask those tough questions. First, do you think you had anything for Mikey Neal or Jameer Muhammad? And two, what was this track like coming around here in this Xfinity car?
I believe I was a little bit quicker than Mike on the short runs. Me and Jameer were pretty even. I don't think I would have been able to pass him, especially if a caution come out. I had some damage there at the end. But, yeah, it was a ton of fun racing with those guys like always. And it was super slick over a long run. The first 10 laps were okay. But then depending on how hard you pushed your that right rear, it got super slick. And it was just basically how much you could hang on there at the end.
Well, definitely super slick is what this track is known for. It wasn't as hot as it could have been. I don't think, again, it was, dynamic weather, realistic weather. I mean, so it was only around 95 to 100 degrees. I'm not sure exactly how hot it got. We've seen it a lot hotter here, so when you compare the track temperature here, you compared 95, 98 degrees was what we had tonight, compared to 107 to 110, 12 degrees at Atlanta. Is there much difference when it comes to how the car handles as far as slickness, or is this track just that much of a handful no matter what the track temperature is?
Yeah, of course. Atlanta's always a handful, but track temp, I believe it makes a little bit of a difference. Of course, it depends on how it makes the tires wear more the hotter it is, and it's all about being easy on that gas pedal and just keeping your tires under you for as long as possible.
Well, definitely you did just that, finishing in third place. Before we let you go and celebrate that third place finish, any sponsors on the car, any shout-outs you want to give for that third place?
Yeah, of course. I'd like to thank you for the broadcast, Global Boarding Contractors. Those guys help out a lot. Leo's Coney Island for the truck side. Just Justin for running a good league, and congrats to Jameer.
Definitely. Congrats to you two on that third place finish. Finishing one spot ahead, that is the 8 of Mikey Neal. You didn't lead any laps here tonight, but you did start in third and finish second, so you gained one spot ahead. And while, not leading any laps, you'd like to get at least one bonus point. That really doesn't matter too much because, we heard from you yourself that you had never driven this car on this track. So for never have driven the Xfinity car at Atlanta, do you kind of count this as a win, even though you technically didn't get the win?
Oh yeah, I mean, I definitely learned a lot this race. It was a tough track. It almost, it was different because this track is very bumpy, and I didn't check what any of the springs or all that was at for the race, so I didn't really know how I was going to react. I should have, but other than that, I mean, it felt tight on the short run, loose on the long run, and progressively it got worse and worse throughout. But my best run, I think, was the middle run. I mean, I know Bryson had the short run; he was super fast. I was okay on the short run. I felt a little bit better than both of them on the middle run, but then that long run, Jameer took off, and he was able to hold the bottom line. He was able to hold it right against the white line, but I don't think he was really pushing it that hard. And I was trying to push it, and I think that's what really cost me getting a little bit closer to him. But the big thing though that kind of got us in the middle is the pit stop. And there were a couple cautions. Worked my way up to third. I thought I had a fourth place car, and I was happy there. And the pit stops, I went in a little bit cautious, but I wanted to go the lap that Jameer went, but when Jameer set it on the back stretch, I didn't really get a chance to queue up, and I was like, but I stayed that extra lap. I knew I was going to have a lap pressure tire, see what I could do with it, and I cut off, I think, from 3.3 to 1.7 or something, but I know Jameer was just trying to get around the track saving, so, other than that, I'm pretty sure he actually has not drove these cars here either, so, Jameer and I definitely got to learn a lot, and we had a lot of fun, and, It's definitely a tough track, but it felt almost kind of like a B Open Dover race. But other than that, I mean, it definitely a good learning experience. Had a lot of fun. It was the car changed a lot throughout the race, so we had a good time.
Well, the tough question here for you tonight, before we get to your sponsors and shout-outs, is if we'd had maybe a caution come out there and you would have been able to have like a 10-5 lap shootout, whatever it was, and you'd have been right there with him with that 1 lap fresher tire, do you think you could have got by him and changed here the outcome and got that win?
To be honest, I don't even know if I'd have stayed out because just with fresh tires, the restarts, you actually spun the tires a little bit, and I was really surprised. I didn't really expect it that much, but we got on the gas in some of the practice pit parties that we had, and it was a lot looser. So those restarts would have been super hard. I mean, once you'd almost have to start in third gear just to get it going, just because once you tap the gas a little tiny bit, the rear end just wants to step out, and it's really, really tough to get restarts here. So I don't even know about that. I would just done what Jameer did there, because you can't really do anything else. So I don't really know. But if I did have another 10-lap run where he got a caution, I don't know. I think even with the lap pressure tires, we would have had a cooler tire, so I think we'd have been around the same spot. And I was pushing there too. And like I said, I don't think Jameer was really pushing. He was just kind of getting around the track. So I think if he wasn't really saving, I think he would have still had 2.5 seconds on me. But it's what you got to do. And to be honest, I didn't really want a caution at all. I was really content with second place, because I knew if we got a caution, those guys would get back up, and you'd have a chance to get a wreck. And you never really know what happens. So I'm pretty happy that no cautions came out, and I was able to get up to second.
Well, you did indeed do that. So last but not least, of course, as always, we know you got some shout-outs and sponsors there. So who would those be for that second place finish?
Oh, yeah, I got to thank KM and PRG. Also got to thank you guys for broadcasting every race. I love having you guys. Got to thank iRacing Drivers World and Dan Butler Designs. And then our main sponsor this series, which I know Global Building Contractors is going to be on Parker Kligerman's truck this weekend. So go check it out. I think it's Saturday at Martinsville. It's going to be awesome. And I was going to thank Mom and Dad, and they're both watching. Thank you for letting me race. Had a great time today. I also got to thank Dan and Justin. They do a great job hosting this. We had a good time today. I also got to thank all the viewers out there. We love having you guys every week. And keep tuning in. These races just get better and better. We also got to give a shout out to Jameer and Bryson. They both had a really good run. So congratulations to Jameer on first place and Bryson on third. Also got to give a shout out to my teammate Huffy. I know you got top 5 tonight, so good job for pulling it up.
All right, well, again, congrats on second place here tonight. Finishing 1 spot ahead of you, that is tonight's race winner. You started 7th, worked your way up 6 spots to get to the lead. Not only did you lead the last lap and lead a lap to get the bonus point, you led the most laps here, 59 laps led, so almost 1 lap shy of 2/3 of this race being led by you. So obviously you figured something out here at Atlanta. Was this indeed your first time here with the Xfinity car?
Yeah, this is my first time in this car. I've driven the trucks here quite a few times, and I know that it's a low grip track, and so I kind of race it the same way. Pretty much like to pretty much add on to Bryson and Mikey comments. I mean, the car is super fun to run around here. I think Bryson said, it's really tight for the first 10 laps, and then it's loose for the last 20 laps, and it's a handful. My right arm is literally cramping up because I'm holding the steering wheel so tight.
Well, definitely this is a track that'll wear you out after each race. So you may need that ice pack on there to kind of help it out a little bit. This track, it'll either treat you well or it will beat you up. It's just one of those tracks. There are very few tracks like that. Tracks like Bristol being one of those. Martinsville, you do really good at them or you do really bad. There really is no in between when it comes to these tracks. You're either up front or you're probably got damage. Just the way this track does work out. But not as hot as it could have been. So we'll get your opinion on that real fast. As far as this track being slick and greasy, it is called Hotlanta for a reason as its nickname. How was it in the Xfinity car, and how was it overall just compared to other times that you've been here as far as how slick this track was?
It was a lot slicker than the trucks for sure. Just with more horsepower, the rear wheels are spinning. You're just coming off these corners, turning a lot, and you're kind of full throttle, so you're wearing down those right rear quite a bit. So once you get past like lap 10, you are feathering the throttle, trying to hold it straight, and kind of yanking the wheel on the right sometimes to not lose control. So it's a ton of fun, and it's tight in the center of the corners too. So it's a handful. You're racing the track a lot here, and then you just kind of hope that you're out front. I was surprised at the speed that everyone else had in qualifying. I got 7th in qualifying, and that was like the best I could do. I didn't really practice hot laps though. I was really trying to practice running on old tires and long runs. That was my focus on practice completely. So I was really hoping there wasn't a lot of cautions. And yeah, when we get going, I mean, Sal was up there. It looks like Josh, Reese, they were all up there, and it was interesting. It was we had some new players up there, and it was a fun challenge.
It definitely was, and we know Josh Coley from another league, so I would be expecting to see him up there quite a bit in the near future races. Definitely going to be a competitor y'all can race with, and he'll race you clean. That being said here, it is, of course, a work night for everyone, so we don't want to keep y'all here too terribly long as it's going on 9 o'clock our time. But we know you got some shout-outs and stuff, so who would those be here for that win tonight?
Yeah, for sure. Thanks, Charles, for everything you do. I just want to give a special shout out to Global Building Contractors, which is on my card this season. And I was really hoping to get a win for them, and I'm glad to get that out of the way really early to bring them into victory lane here. So it means a lot. So thanks to Global Building Contractors, iRacing Drivers World, Dan Butler Designs. And special shout out to my mom and dad. And my wife and son for watching. Thanks a lot.
All right. Well, again, that was your race when you hear the two of Jameer Muhammad. Before we sign off for the night, a couple of things. One, of course, make sure, as it was mentioned a couple of times tonight, and we'll mention it one more time here, make sure you tune in Saturday, October 27th, on Fox Sports 1 at 1 p.m. That is probably Eastern time. So 1 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 1. And make sure you look for Parker Kligerman's truck, as it will have Global Building Contractors and Racecore Online Racing League on it. So make sure you look for both of those logos on that truck. And, of course, do it early because it may get scraped off. We don't know. It's at Martinsville Speedway, so it will get hairy down there at Martinsville. So make sure, again, you tune in for Parker Kligerman's truck on Saturday, October 27th for Global Building Contractors and Racecore Online Racing League. And speaking of sponsors, we want to thank all the sponsors here for tonight's race. Those do include Dan Butler Designs, Leo's Coney Island, iRacing Drivers World, and of course Global Building Contractors here as the presenting sponsor here for this series. This is the Global Building Contractors 12-week mini-series here on VRN for Racecore. So on the broadcast side of things, we want to thank all of our partners as well, starting with Walls Beard Co., Sim Speed Shop, Northwest Racing Series, Ohio IndyCar League, and of course iBog for coming on board. We are working on some new overlays here shortly. Hopefully in the next month or two we will have those here. That will do it though for tonight's race. We hope you enjoyed it, and we will be back tomorrow night with one of the two last races for the season for the Upper Edge series. And then of course we will have a race at 10:30. That will be the Northwest Truck Series coming up at 10:30. So make sure you stay tuned for both of those races, and we'll see you then.